The national debate over gun rights continues to evolve, especially when it comes to technology and access. Today, we're taking a closer look at your constitutional right to bear arms with the Director of Legal Operations for the Second Amendment Foundation, Bill Sack. Bill, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for the opportunity. Happy to be here.
I want to start off by asking, from your perspective, what does the Second Amendment guarantee?
Well, the Second Amendment is, it's the shortest amendment in the Bill of Rights, and it's kind of the most clearly written. So what it says and what the right protects is the right to keep and bear arms. So what that means is you have the right to possess arms, and you have the right to have them on your person when you might need them.
And once again, from your perspective, how do you see that playing out in today's political climate?
So there's a lot of action going on in both the legislatures right now and in the court system about what exactly that very, very simply written Bill of Rights amendment says and what it actually means. And right now the fights are about, what sort of arms are protected by the Second Amendment, whether it covers commonly used rifles like the AR-15 or not, where you can carry your gun, and who can carry a gun, whether it protects all American adults, or whether it's some predetermined subset that various legislators around the state, around the various states would like to restrict.
Mm-hmm. And I want you to talk about the Second Amendment Foundation and kind of the overall mission of your organization, and the legal approach when it comes to defending our gun rights.
Sure. So Second Amendment Foundation, we are in our 51st year of operation. We are a national nonprofit group that takes care of protecting, expanding, and restoring the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution through educational programs and through our very substantial legal program. So we're currently involved in over 50 pieces of active litigation all over the country, challenging gun control at the state, local, municipal, and federal levels. We've been doing that for 50 years. And we continue to do that until the right is restored to where it should be, based on what the framers intended.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of want to pivot and start talking about something that I've been seeing a lot: ghost guns. And to my understanding, it's kind of like a DIY, do-it-yourself. People are building kind of their own firearms or certain things that they can add on to their guns. What is the Second Amendment Foundation's perspective on ghost guns and how those should be viewed and our ability to use them?
Sure. So the whole ghost gun thing, to begin with, the term ghost gun is kind of a pejorative and is an invention of the gun control space to try to make them sound scary. Really, what they are and what we call them is homemade firearms. Mm-hmm. So there is a history in this country going all the way back to before the United States existed, that people would make their own firearms at home. And we still have the right to do so. It's entirely legal to do so. And we think it's particularly important as part of the right to possess firearms and to use them lawfully is your right to acquire them by way of manufacturing them yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Does the Second Amendment Foundation believe in any sort of restrictions or regulations when it comes to us owning firearms or kind of the homemade firearms that we just spoke about earlier?
So what the Constitution says and what the Supreme Court has agreed with is that for firearm regulation to be constitutional, it has to be in line with the sorts of regulation that there is a tradition of in the history of the country going back to the time of the founding. So if there is a principle of gun control or gun regulation that was deemed to be constitutional at the time of the founding, so the late 1700s, then modern gun control can apply that same principle and create modern gun regulation. There was very little firearms regulation at the time of the founding, and for good reason. The founders had just fought a war to get free from the British, who tried to restrict their rights to possess firearms. In terms of individuals' rights to make their own firearms now, we think that it is constitutional to have laws on the books that make sure that dangerous individuals those people that have been convicted of crimes, dangerous crimes, are not able to possess firearms. But that's a very limited subset, even a limited subset of people that have been convicted of crimes generally. But no, we do think that it's important for dangerous folks to not have the ability to possess firearms, but otherwise, the ability to protect yourself effectively, the right to self-defense, is a human right that we all share.
Absolutely. Well, Bill, thank you so much for being here with us today. For more information on the Second Amendment Foundation, saf.org is where our audience can go. Bill, we want to thank you again for being here and for sharing your opinion with us.
Thank you.
We're back in 2 minutes.